All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's nice to be here again. I came here for a meeting with the Secretary General and his climate change team this morning on my way back from Washington, where I was earlier in the week, and I'd like to tell you a little bit about that. Maybe a word first, though, where we stand in the international climate change negotiations. We're at this moment busy preparing a document that can serve as the basis for discussion at the next negotiating session, which will happen towards the end of March in Bonn. And that document will basically focus on three things. It'll focus on the areas where there appears to be a significant convergence of opinion amongst governments on key aspects of what needs to be in a Copenhagen agreement. And there is some very encouraging convergence on a number of key political issues. Secondly, that document will focus on the areas where there is still a divergence of view, either because countries have a fundamentally different view on how something should be arranged in a Copenhagen agreement, or because different options are being listed. And thirdly, that document will focus on gaps, on areas where basically we don't have enough information, suggestions, proposals from governments yet in order to be able to flesh out a Copenhagen agreement. So the meeting towards the end of March will focus mainly on the areas of divergence and the gaps to try and fill in the blanks and make sure that we get closer to a comprehensive Copenhagen agreement. That March document will then be turned into a full negotiating text for a subsequent session in June, and from then on it's all the stops out until the meeting in December in Copenhagen. I was in Washington earlier this week to talk to both representatives from the House and from the Senate on the prospects for legislation being passed in this country, and secondly to meet representatives of the new administration from the State Department, from the White House, and from the Environmental Protection Agency. And I must say I come back from those meetings very much encouraged, in the sense that there is, I believe, a huge enthusiasm and energy in both the House and the Senate to put cap and trade climate change legislation in place in this country. Certainly in the House things seem to be moving very fast on that front. I was very encouraged in my conversations with the administration that there is a huge willingness to work towards an agreement in Copenhagen, to come with an ambitious domestic policy, to engage with international partners in order to come to an ambitious outcome, and the realization that financial support for developing countries to help them engage on adaptation and mitigation is going to be an essential part of the Copenhagen puzzle. At the same time, there is a desire on the part of the administration to continue the useful work that's been done in the major economies process. You know, that brings together the major emitters of the world, and that, I think, can be an excellent platform to develop a better understanding within that group of countries on how, by working together, they can show a greater degree of ambition. So I've come back from Washington very much encouraged that the new administration, with the full backing of the House and the Senate, is working towards an ambitious agreement in Copenhagen. Thank you.